Always free in every situation. Obviously, the most negative outcome is that they could say no. So what? Who cares? Asking is always free. From the TheAgileVC, number 16. Lessons from my father. Ask and you shall receive. I'm sure many of you guys out there have heard this quote in different contexts. I'm here to tell you that it's probably more true than not, at least from my experience. Asking is such a powerful idea. When I was writing some notes down about this, a quote came to mind from my father. My father always said many times throughout my younger years of growing up, he would always say, asking is always free. I'll never forget this. I think this is one of the many quotes that my father had instilled in us, at least for me, and I don't know about my other siblings, but it was one of those quotes that really stuck. My father truly understood the value of asking, and I'm sure it helped him in his career, literally counting nails on a conveyor belt to moving all the way up the corporate chain over many years to the executive ranks, 30 plus years of corporate service. My father knew the secrets of asking. He knew the value of asking. There is a humility in asking. My father is absolutely one of the best examples of humility in life. He exuded this. He would always ask. He was never afraid of engaging with an individual, especially on the personal level. Depending on the context, it gives the receiver the opportunity to see two particular things. Number one, they can see that you have enough humility because you need help. You're asking. You need help, and you need someone to help you out. Number two, they can see that you're assertive, that you're not some wet blanket, some wet noodle, and that you're assertive in asking for what you want, asking for opportunities. What is so great about the asking idea is that you can ask anyone, anything, anytime in this world. By asking, you involve the other individual in a mutually beneficial transaction or relationship. I know this might sound a little deep here, but I think it's essentially true. That whatever you ask someone else, you engage with them beyond the transaction. You engage with them beyond just the handing over of money. You engage with them in the opportunity to help or win with you. Regardless, it gives them the opportunity to respond. They can say no, they can say maybe, or they can point you to someone else that can help you. Obviously, they might just say yes. Now, whenever someone says they can't help you, one of the next questions you should ask is there someone that can? This is really powerful. Again, depending on the context, by asking merely a question to the receiver, you're involving them in a mutually beneficial transaction or relationship. Win with coffee first. A simple example of asking and winning, something that I do a lot, whenever I go to a coffee shop, one of the things I have always asked for is a grande in a venti cup. Now, for those in the coffee world, you know that the real difference between a grande and a venti is just the amount of milk that they put in there. What's great about this is every time I ask, it always works. Every time I ask for a grande in a venti cup, I end up paying for a grande, and I get way more milk, or if they don't give me the milk, I just go to the condiments table and fill up the milk myself. You pay less for more just by asking. Sometimes during this very simple transaction, I get a smile from the receiver because they know what I'm doing and they know what I'm up to. They know the game I'm playing. Sometimes it makes their day. It really does. And sometimes it sparks up a conversation. I can even remember a conversation at Starbucks where I asked for a grande in a venti cup, and I remember the sales associate on the other end going, "Oh, really, man? Is that what you're doing?" And he cracked a smile. It was one of those moments. Yeah. It was a simple transaction. And yeah. I'm just getting a little bit more milk in my cup. But it was for a moment for him to just crack a smile out of the norm and add a little bit of variety in his work life. You know, I'm all about the good juju. I love spreading good juju. I love spreading positive thinking. I love spreading positive thoughts. I love blessing other people as much as I can wherever I go. And so asking is a great way to engage in positivity. Win in sales. Asking gets you more. I always ask, no matter the scenario. I'll give you a consulting example during an introduction or discovery call. There's always one or two executives or leaders or managers or directors on the call. One of the questions I always bring up, and this is really powerful, especially if you're a consultant out there or you're in any type of role of selling, is that I ask at the beginning of every conversation, quote, "Who else needs to be here?" Who else needs to be part of this conversation? What the question does is put my clients in a position of considering who else needs to hear this. Maybe there is someone else that could benefit from this conversation. Regardless, I'm taking notes. I want to make sure I connect with whomever they suggest I need to talk with. Another question I ask a lot as a consultant is, quote, who should I speak to next? We might have just had a great conversation talking about how I can help them with their software development, how I can help them with their organizational design, or how I can help them with optimizing their processes, and these types of things. But at the end of it, I always make sure to ask, quote, hey, who should I speak to next? Who should I engage with next? Who could benefit from the conversations that we had today so that we can help you as the client expand the value that you're spending on me out to even more people? You see, asking these types of questions when it pertains to the context of relationships is so powerful. You see, work just doesn't get done. Let me be fundamentally clear here, guys. When it comes to work, it doesn't get done without other people. People love being involved, especially when it comes to improving things, especially when it comes to helping out, especially when there's some sort of mutually beneficial transaction or opportunity that we have invited them into merely by asking the question. No ego, no pride, just humility. Asking is always free. Please don't forget this. It's always free in every situation. Obviously, the most negative outcome is that they could say no. So what? Who cares? When you ask these types of questions, they open up doors that you never imagined were there. Remember, work just doesn't get done. It gets done with the multiplicity of people, multiple people working together, especially when you're working on an enterprise or any type of enterprise endeavor. You have to work with other people you want to ask them questions to involve them. It opens up opportunities for you that you maybe never knew were there. It opens up doors. It opens up opportunities. It opens up conversations for you to delve deeper in, especially if you're a consultant, to provide more value and more help. Now, certainly, I can take this even farther, this idea of asking, but asking is a great way of understanding the needs of other people, understanding the needs of your clients, understanding the needs of your users, understanding the needs of your community, and understanding the needs of the people around you. Asking questions allows you to understand more deeply how you can provide value to them and speak into their lives so that you can build up a relationship and have a mutually beneficial transactions, mutually beneficial wins on all sides. Sometimes I merely use questions to continue the conversation so I can help understand more. Let's be honest, in some ways, it's not only a great way to eat up time, but it's a great way to dig deeper to make sure that you have a firm grasp. Quote, hey, do I understand this right? Quote, from what I hear you're saying X, Y, and Z. Is this correct? These types of questions will avail you much more information so you can make informed decisions on how to benefit from that transaction or relationship. Reducing costs. You guys already know that I'm all about that racing life. Early in my son's career, when he was just getting into go-karts, I started him out with a 2-stroke engine and his first driving coach. Over the first days of coaching, it was obvious I had made a mistake. My boy was already maxing out the junior kart. The coach came up to us after day 1 and said, man, he's ready. Man, he's a natural. He's pretty much done with everything that he needs to do with this kart, and maybe it's better to move him up in power and in size. A proud daddy moment, for sure. Of course, I responded with, he got it from his dad. Wink, wink. But the reality is that he's been in cars since day 1. We got him into driving the small electric sit-along cars at age 2. This boy has racing in the blood. So, what did I do? I'm smart enough to know that there's opportunities to move up, and clearly the coach wants to move up, and this means that we need to buy him a 4-stroke engine, an LO206 engine. We needed to buy him a cadet kart, move him out of the junior kart. We need to move him up to the next level because he's already maxed out. By this time, I'd already spent a significant amount of money on his brand new 2-stroke and his brand new junior kart. I didn't want to be buying another one, so I merely asked the question. It was simple. I said, quote, I know that we just put a couple hours on the engine. I know that we've put a couple hours obviously on the chassis, but man, I would hate to have to buy a new one and put this one on secondary market. Would it be possible to upgrade to the new cadet kart with the next 4-stroke engine that you as a coach know that he needs? Is it okay that we move up to the next one, and would it be possible to get credit for the 2 days of use of the previous chassis and the 2-stroke engine? Guess what happened, guys? He said yes. They gave us a full value of the junior kart, a used value of the engine because the engine was a little bit different than the chassis, I suppose, and they gave us credit so that we did not have to spend all of the brand new money on a new cart. But they gave us credit from the previous junior cart so that we could purchase the cadet cart and move up to the next level so that my son could get on to the next level of his racing career. This saved me over $3,000 for merely asking the question. I was really excited about this, and I felt really triumphant over saving this much on his upgraded cart. I know many men have ego and would hate to bring this up. Nah, never. Just do it. Asking is always free. If you don't ask, you'll never know if you could get something that's beneficial to you. You could win today. It feels good to get your way, doesn't it? It feels good to ask and receive. Let's be honest here. The coach on the other end of this was happy to supply us with a great opportunity because it means for him that he gets to keep coaching us and keep taking our money. It means for him that he keeps an established relationship with us. We feel good about the next progression of my son's karting career. He feels good that he's going to continue to be able to coach my son. There's no bad juju here. Everybody wins. Asking is always free. Asking is always free. I would ask you today, and as you move forward in life, continue to keep this on your mind. Where can you ask for more? Where can you ask for more help? Where can you ask for something? Where can you just merely practice asking? I think this is a good discipline, to be honest, when you can practice the discipline of asking in humility so that everyone can win. My father knew the secrets of asking. He knew that it was putting himself in a position of humility. It was putting yourself in a position where you were asking for them to respond or help, to see that you are assertive. My father knew that involving the other individual merely through the context of asking allows for relationships to be built so that everyone can win. So, what are you going to be asking for today? All the best.